There we go. Okay, it says we'll be live soon. It's loading in.
You're now live.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, SWACUHO. It says we're live from the backstage area. I can't tell for sure, so I'm just going to assume that I am. I see lots of people dropping your school names in the chat. Thank you very much. That's really helpful. Our secretary, JC Stoner, is logging that as fast as his fingers will let him, so we can hopefully get to the establishment of quorum here pretty quickly. Before we get started, I just wanted to make a couple of quick announcements about the business meeting. Things are going to go a little bit differently. Hey, Curtis, a little bit differently. Hey, JR, than what I need to stop looking at the chat. Things will go a little bit differently than what we typically do. For those who maybe don't know who I am, my name is Maggie Guzman, and I'm serving as president of SWACUHO for the next week. And then our president-elect, Katie, will be taking over. So I am facilitating the business meeting today. However, as Matt mentioned in our opening session, and for those who were in Sugar Land last year, you probably remember that he couldn't be there. So I got to kind of take over a year early and do the president stuff at the business meeting. So in the spirit of fairness, Matt's going to do some of that this year. We're going to give him a turn. And so here in just a little bit, we'll have an executive summary that sort of highlights some of what we have done as an organization this year. And we started that last year for the sake of time and thought that it worked well, and then figured we would keep it this year, especially in this virtual format, to try to minimize the switching between speakers. So, you know, next year when we're in person again, hopefully you'll get to see all of the chairs come up and speak to you individually. But this year, Matt will give that executive summary on their behalf. And then we will follow that with a presentation of our minutes from last year's meeting and our budget, both of which were sent out to the SHO listserv. So hopefully you've had a chance to review those. We'll just cover those very quickly. Katie and I will present those again, just for the sake of ease and transition between speakers. Typically you would hear from our secretary and our treasurer on those things, but we're trying to minimize the people who are in this backstage area. We'll have elections. You'll hear from our candidates who you're probably seeing their faces on your screens maybe. We've got Don Yackley and JC Stoner who are running for president-elect, and then Craig Reiner and Amanda Bobo are running for secretary. And then we will also hear from SWACUHO Vice President, Dr. Leon McClinton. Hopefully he will be joining us here in the backstage area soon. And he's going to give us some updates from SWACUHO, and that will pretty much be our meeting for today. So I feel like I maybe have jibber-jabbered long enough to give JC a chance to see if we've made it to our magical number for quorum. JC said, please check if your school's already checked in before doing so again. Okay, we need 6 more, so please scroll through the chat, and if you are the only person on from your institution, drop your name and your school name in the chat. Oh, wait. This is so exciting with the chat and the live action situation happening. Typically, you see us kind of scrambling back and forth between the state directors and the stage during this part of things.
Is it, Maggie? Is it?
Well, it's exciting for me, but I'm not trying to count the names, so. JC, if we need to try to do a brief roll call of who we think we may be missing, we can do that. We also may need to pop back over to the main lobby, as Kenny Mock helped us realize in the opening session. There may be people in the main lobby who don't realize they need to come over to the main stage to join the business meeting. Yes, Kyle, you missed the scurrying, don't you? Kyle Estes, good to see your name on the screen.
Hey, we saved a lot of money on envelopes this year and different colors of paper for voting, so it'll be really fun.
That we did. All right, we need 2 more. So if you're here and your school's name is not yet in the chat, please drop it in there.
Oh, Kenny. Tiffany, really?
Oh, Midwestern. Thanks, Norma. JC, did you get Midwestern State University?
Thanks,
Maybe
Kenny.
that
I'm
means
going to have that song stuck in my head now all morning.
some of you may be asking yourselves, why don't they just skip to the next thing on the agenda? That's a great question. And we would do that, except our Constitution tells us that before we can start the business meeting, before I can officially pound the gavel and start the business meeting, we have to get to quorum. So as followers of our Constitution, we're gonna do that. So if you have friends who you think should be here, who you have not seen yet, please maybe text them, tell them to log on so we can get one more school in here. I see lots of attendees here. But maybe it's people from the same school over and over again. Curtis, did you put Baylor actually in the chat, or did you just say hi?
Yeah, I've got Baylor, yeah.
Okay.
One from, let's see, Arkansas State.
Ricky just asked if UCA was there.
We've got UCA.
Okay.
Blinn College, we're looking for UT San Antonio.
Oh, no. I thought we saw, no, that was Incarnate Word. Sorry.
Yep, Oklahoma City,
There's
South
Commerce.
Plains.
Texas
I've
A&M
got
Commerce.
Commerce.
You got
Yep.
Commerce.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, no. I don't think I had Commerce.
Nope, that might be it.
A&M Galveston, you have A&M Galveston?
Quorum has been reached.
Oh. I'm not going to bang the gavel because it's old and fragile. I'll bang it on a Post-it pad. Okay, we have reached quorum officially per JC, and we're going to take his word for it because really we have no other choice. But okay.
There's a record of everyone here, so we've reached.
I'm joking. We trust you. Okay. So thank you everybody for helping us to get quorum. We're just a few minutes behind schedule, but it's cool because Matt is so efficient that he kept us ahead of schedule last time. So I'm going to turn it over to Matt to give us our executive summary for the year.
Perfect. Lot happened even though we were online this year, and just want to highlight first we have the institutions from each state. We have from Oklahoma, we have 12 paid institutions. From Arkansas, we have 12 paid institutions, which includes Missouri State. And from Texas, we have 49 paid institutions. Over the year, we had 3 roundtables that were held this year, or 3 groups that held roundtables this year. Diversity and social justice, the senior housing officers, and the mid-level housing officers all held roundtables this year. We also had virtual conferences, SWACUHO U, which I'll highlight some more information about that in just a second, and the RA conference was also this year as well, virtual. We actually have an update from the new conference coordinator. If you remember last year, that was voted in to the Constitution to be on the executive board. We have an announcement to make that the 2023 annual conference bid has been given to Southern Methodist University. Yay. We've also worked with Texas A&M University and their host of the RA conference, with sessions occurring in November and February. So that's been very successful for those RAs virtually. This year, we have awarded the fall 2021 RA conference to Texas A&M University, and our hope is that one of these days we'll have conferences in person. We've also had the conference coordinator collaborate with all of the SWACUHO leadership to plan and implement this wonderful conference that we've had over the 4 Fridays in February / 1 Friday in March now. And so we're really pleased with all the work the conference coordinator group has done, conference coordinator has done to work with our group. As Maggie mentioned, the elected positions are president-elect and secretary this year. And then we want to highlight some information about our National Housing Training Institute. We've had some participants selected to NHTI from our SWACUHO region, and we're so proud of them. First, Ricky Harris from the University of Central Arkansas, Joel Gaddy from Oklahoma State University, and Katie Campbell from Texas A&M University. Thanks to all those who applied, and we look forward to seeing them participate in HTI this summer. And if I missed anybody, I am truly sorry, but we'll highlight you as well in the future. SWACUHO U, I mentioned that. You know, SWACUHO was one of those conferences that we really, you know, worked to work with the new professionals, someone with 2 years or less experience. And we had 24 participants this year. 15 from Texas, 9 from Arkansas. We had some wonderful coaches who helped out with SWACUHO U, Kenny Mock, Jason Titus, Raymond Gordon, Fred Dillard, and Drew Jar. We just thank all those coaches for participating and helping out our young professionals, and we look forward to having that conference again this year as well. Ricky Harris, our technology coordinator, wanted me to share that we've really streamlined our communication with the Google groups, and we know that's a new technology to some folks, and we hope that people are utilizing that. We've also touched up the website and created some good information on there, easy to get to. And we've also want to thank Ricky along with Beth on this conference this year, their leadership and getting this online and really going has been great. So kudos to both of them. And I know there were lots of other folks behind the scenes who have been working out. So right now, that's our executive summary. We really want to thank everybody who served our organization in their leadership roles in the committees, and certainly the leadership on the executive committee as well this year. So we're going to move now into the budget presentation. And look, I got us back on time, even not sharing a fun fact. So I might have to look up one for a little bit later. So I'm going to turn it over to Katie Pelton, who is our president-elect. On behalf of the treasurer, she'll be presenting the budget.
Hi, good morning, everyone. All of the SHO individuals should have received a copy of not only the minutes, but also the budget. Just wanted to review a few things. I do see one area where cost for the 2020 conference were put in the wrong column, so that has been corrected and moved to the correct column. Expenditures for the year currently stand at essentially putting down a deposit for the 2022 conference. We were able to work with the hotel in Fort Smith to make our conference happen next year face-to-face, and that did require a deposit, along with membership dues that are totaling, sitting at about $8,000 right now. In addition, we've also had some expenditures of award purchases, and then the executive board has also made purchases of mail forwarding services, general liability, and making sure that our website is being maintained, which is a cost. As part of our constitution, the budget does need to be voted on as far as being approved. For this year, we have proposed that the next 2 years of budgets, we would like those to be approved so that we're working ahead. And those proposed budget amounts are the same that we are typically running every single year. That voting approval will be included with the election ballot. And if there are any questions, we'd be happy to answer those as well. Thank you.
Okay, so next up is going to be the presentation of our minutes from last year. JC, drop those in the chat if you are just interested to look at them. You're welcome to do that. They were also sent out to the SHO group. Just a couple of highlights from there. We did have a couple of pieces of legislation last year that were documented. One about runoffs in the event that there are more than 2 candidates who are running for a particular position, and then we changed our time and place committee chair to a conference coordinator role that now is an appointed position to the board. So you can check out the minutes, and if you have questions, about those, or want to make any changes, you can drop those in the chat, or you can email us after the fact. But that will also be voted on whenever we send out the ballot for elections, probably Monday as well. So I'm not seeing any questions. And we can circle back around if there are some. Yeah, JC, go ahead.
I think I think we still would need a motion and a second, though, even though the voting is happening after the fact, wouldn't we?
You know, our Constitution doesn't cover virtual voting, but sure, we can do that. So we would need a motion and a second to vote on our budget and our meeting minute agenda, or our meeting minutes. So does anybody want to drop that in the chat? Get your school name in the minutes, maybe. Sarah McCoy from A&M has moved. JR from Incarnate Word seconded. Can we we'll consider those motions for the budget. Can we get a motion and a second for the minutes? Thank you, Kenny. The parliamentarian is here in the chat. Sarah, oh, wait a minute, hang on. Okay, Kenny moved to approve or to vote on minutes. And Craig Dillard, OSU, seconded. Thanks, everybody. So look for those on the ballot. It'll just be a simple vote to approve or a yes or no on that. And thank you, JC, for keeping us true to our Constitution. Let's see, next on the agenda, I'm going to turn it back over to Matt, and we are going to hear from our, he's going to present our candidates for our elections.
I'll save the more interesting fun facts for later, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward, and we're going to first introduce Don Yackley from the University of Houston, and we're going to let him speak for about 3 or so minutes.
Hello, everyone. I am Don Yackley, like Matt said, Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs for Student Housing and Residential Life at the University of Houston. Thank you for considering my candidacy for President-elect. I started my career in housing as an RA and conference staff member making beds over the summers in the late 80s. I've worked in 4 regions at about 7 or 8 schools. And I have been so fortunate to have been involved with SWACUHO in various volunteer leadership roles in that time. I've had some amazing experiences, including involvement with SWACUHO in the last 10 years. Those involvements have created and deepened relationships with colleagues and friends that have made me a better professional. And it's through those experiences and the desire to give back that I am applying and running for this position. Of particular pride for me is my opportunity to serve as chair of the QOI Internship Committee, opportunity to be faculty for the National Housing Training Institute and Stars College, and then most recently for SWACUHO, chair of the Professional Development Committee, and then working with the Professional Development Committee, where I have loved getting to know and working with the committee members and feel a lot of pride in our work reimagining SWACUHO U. In looking at the association and some of my views on where we need to spend a little bit of focus, I'd love for us to have more discussions and assertive involvement with our teams at all levels and positions on things like best practices and service to support student academic success in the context of the pandemic, and then looking forward to the post-pandemic. I'd also like, as an association, for us to talk more about our values of inclusion and diversity, including more conversations about systems representation and advocacy, again, not just for our housing programs, but for the association. We've got to move from conversations to actions, and then lifting our values of care and civility, and relationships in our community development and learning missions, especially in this time where interpersonal engagement, competency, or willingness have been impacted by technology and isolation, financial challenges and wellness issues, and of course, COVID. And then caretaking and the development and well-being of our staff at all levels as we navigate the impact of our success in our programs. Just want to really say thank you. I think everyone who is running would do an excellent job and would support any of their candidacies. And just want to thank you for considering mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate those fine words. We will next have J.C. Stoner from the University of Texas at Dallas speak.
Good afternoon, SWACUHO. My name is J.C. Stoner, and I'm Associate Director of Housing Operations at UT Dallas. Today, I present myself to you seeking to volunteer my time as president of our association. I'm particularly pleased today because it has been a long time since I can remember a slate of candidates for elected positions with multiple candidates for every position. I know expanding the slate was a priority of past President Matt Grief. We need to build on that momentum and work towards ensuring future slates are not only full, but also full of candidates that are also having more candidates who look a lot less like me. For many of our members, systemic racism in our society, and yes, even our institutions, perpetuate conditions where more often than not, people in positions of leadership look a lot less like you and a lot more like me. If fortunate to be entrusted with your vote, my vision moving forward starts with the premise that the strength of any organization is not the leadership at the top. The strength, rather, is the membership base. I'm talking about each and every one of you. I truly believe there is no problem too big that cannot be tackled as long as we have an active and healthy membership base. To activate the membership base, there must be opportunities. I'm here today because I've been privileged by a series of moments I call windows of opportunity, and then building small habits of service around them. It also helps when there are obvious pathways to leadership, which is often accompanied by being able to see yourself in advanced positions of leadership. These are the things I want to focus on. Specifically, on establishing obvious individual pathways to development and pathways to leadership advancement within this association, thereby allowing more members to position themselves through the committee structure to be ready to increase their leadership responsibilities while also developing their skills. Those of you who know me know that I'm not a flashy person, so we will not accomplish this by doing a few flashy big ticket items. Instead, together we will do it not the only way I know how to be successful, by grinding it out, by creating small scale action items in every aspect of this association. My platform talks about this and talks about how we will expand the opportunities to our membership base in that way. It will provide visibility for members across the region, and it will, by creating more opportunities for involvement, we will also position our members of color to have their voices and expertise elevated and amplified on the regional stage, where for far too long they may have been silenced. These voices today will become leaders of tomorrow, providing a visible affirmation to those who follow and look for their place in the organizational structure. These are good habits to have that will benefit our association. If there's one thing I've learned about being successful with building good habits, it's making them easy and making them obvious. I believe the plan I've articulated in the document achieves both those criteria while also advancing our strategic plan. I hope you will entrust me with the opportunity to serve yet again.
Thank you, JC. Thank you both, Don and JC, for those words. At this moment, we're going to take a step to see if there are any nominations from the floor for president. As I monitor the chat to see if there are any nominations. Awkward silence. Okay, so I see no nominations from the floor at this time for president. We will move now to the secretary nominees to have them share information. We'll first move to Amanda Bobo from Southern Methodist University. Oh, so hold on. Sorry, Amanda. We're getting a move to close the nominations for president, and we have a second. We have Beth from University of Arkansas, Fort Smith, and Norma. Where is your school? Norma Ramirez, your school. There it is. Where is it? Need some help from my chat just went away.
I can look it up now. We'll look it up afterwards.
Okay. All right. So we do have a second Midwestern state. Okay. Thank you. We'll move forward now to the secretary position. Like I mentioned, Amanda Bobo from Southern Methodist University.
Good morning, everybody. As Matt said, my name is Amanda Bobo. I currently serve as an assistant director for residence life at Southern Methodist University. I was previously a coordinator for residence education at the University of Arkansas. From my candidate bio, you can see that my entire professional experience has been done in the SWACUHO region. And since I joined the region, I have tried to serve the region. Thank you to Megan Witherspoon, who snatched me up and asked if I would serve on the Exhibits and Displays Committee my first year as a CRE. That has really shaped my entire view on how we can manage partnerships with our exhibitors and create incredible opportunities for our institutions and our SWACUHO members. And so with that, I've had the pleasure of serving as the chair of the Exhibits and Displays Committee for the past 3 years. Currently helping host the virtual conference committee with Beth and Ricky behind the scenes, putting out the virtual platform, and was incredibly honored to be able to represent SWACUHO at the National Training Institution in 2019. And so SWACUHO has given me so much professionally and personally that I look for every opportunity I can to give back, and I see the secretary role as an opportunity to continue my service to the organization. As many of us know, some of those challenges that I believe are facing SWACUHO in those immediate years are the response to COVID-19 and how we come out of that and return to what will look like our new normal. And so but within that, I like to think of the opportunities that this has presented us as well. We have an abundance of opportunities that can continue engagement within our organization based on the virtual offerings that we can provide that allow for more frequent touch points, more frequent professional development opportunities that we can use to our advantage. And as JC says, don't waste a good crisis. That's a positive that we can bring from this that we've been dealing with. Throughout my role as secretary, if I'm honored to serve in this position, I have 3 goals I want to work towards. The first being a creation of a digital resource repository for the region where we can save all of our important documents in an easily navigatable source, and we can save program proposals, past presentations, anything like that that is easily accessible to our entire organization and navigatable to find exactly what we're looking for. I think it's important if you're serving in this type of role, maintaining current and correct information is really important. And so making sure that I'm diligent in the way that I keep records and provide those to the organization and members will be very important in this role. And then, as we all know, we are working through the SWACUHO strategic plan and the implementation of that. And so the commitment to the continuation of that implementation is going to be really important. I am personally very aware with my work at SMU's divisional strategic plan, how important guiding documents are for guiding the practice of the organization. So I'm really excited to see that fully realized and to be able to help with that if possible. So with all of that, I am sincerely thankful for the opportunity to even run for the position, and am submitting myself for to fill the secretary role to serve SWACUHO again.
Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate those words. We will now move to Craig Reiner from Northeastern State University.
Hello, SWACUHO Nation, and I appreciate the opportunity to run for the secretary's position. I'm Craig Reiner. I'm from Northeastern State University in Oklahoma. I arrived to Oklahoma approximately 5 years ago and attended my first conference, and knew then immediately I wanted to be involved with SWACUHO and everything it had to offer. And I was lucky enough to get the opportunity. So for the past 2 and about third years, I have been the Oklahoma State Director, and have really gotten involved on the executive board level and through the conferences, through the pandemic and things like that. And I realize that I do want to continue on. I don't feel that our work is done, and would appreciate the opportunity to be into that secretary's role. For me, the importance, and again, I think you'll hear a lot of the same things coming from all of us. There's the importance of recording information, especially through the pandemic, has shown us that we need to document everything, what we've done, because unfortunately, though this pandemic has been difficult on every institution, it's going to happen again someday. So we need to document what we've done and how we've done it, and make sure those records are available to others. We also realized even before the pandemic, there's a lot of institutions in our region that don't participate, and mostly because they could be smaller, they could be a distance away, and they don't have the travel budgets. And with the pandemic, we may not have the travel budgets for the next several years to attend conferences, to attend meetings, and get information. But with a lot of the virtual things that we have learned and the things that we have already been working on to provide information to other institutions and record that data so that they can get to it, whether or not they have the ability to attend a meeting or attend a conference, is vitally important, because we can bond together to get the information. I can say personally, if it wasn't for the group that bonded together in Oklahoma to talk about COVID-related information, we would have not been able to figure out all that documentation, policy, procedure, all those things that we needed to open up this year and have a successful housing operation here on campus. So we definitely appreciate those opportunities. I like to just end my meeting with all of you. In an interview, they always ask, what's that one unique thing about you that you'll bring to the position? And I think the one unique thing about me is that I've been in student affairs and specifically housing for almost 30 years now. I bring a unique perspective from various regions. I've been involved with SWACUHO, UMR-CUHO, some of the other organizations. So I bring that unique perspective from other parts of the country, other institutions, and I bring that to the executive board, and hopefully can help us get through this pandemic and off into the future. But I thank you for the opportunity, and go SWACUHO.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you both to Craig and Amanda for those words. And now we will move to see if there are any nominations from the floor for secretary. Maggie, you were supposed to have some music playing during this. Wait just a few minutes, or seconds, I should say.
Oh, Kyle Estes, you're
Okay, it does not appear that we have any nominations from the floor, just jokes from the floor, so that's good. Kenny Mock has moved that, from University of Houston, moved that we close the nominations for the treasurer, but it's not the treasurer, it's actually the secretary. So we probably want to change that.
We are on top of it this morning, let me tell you.
Bill Lakovic. Bill, where your university?
University of Arkansas, is that right?
No, Bill's from, where are you, Bill? I think he's Central. Arkansas Tech,
Arkansas
that's
Tech.
right. All right, so we have a motion and a second. So how things are going to work is a little bit differently with this election, because we have worked with a SWACUHO and are going to be utilizing their software for this election process. Maggie, did you have do we have the dates that's going to open?
I believe it's going to go out on Monday. We just need to get some information over to them this afternoon once the business meeting is over, and then they will work their magic to get those sent out But it should be Monday. If not, it would be Tuesday at the latest. And that's going to be open until Thursday, the 4th at 5. It will close Thursday the 4th at 5. So make sure a vote is registered from your school by then if you would like to vote.
Okay.
And then we will announce election results next Friday at our closing session, which I think is at 3 o'clock. So.
Yeah, perfect. Well, our next individual, Leon, are you able to get backstage? I saw your name in the main chat.
I think Beth was maybe gonna try to send that out to him, and while we're doing that, I just as I told Matt, I can jibber jabber for a few more minutes.
Let's do that.
Yeah, in reality though, I wanted to just take a minute to just offer some thanks to some people. I just mentioned that Beth is probably helping Leon get back here. Beth and Ricky Harris have been the wizards behind the curtain of this whole conference series, so to speak. I cannot tell you how many times I'm texting Beth on a Friday saying, remind me how to get to the backstage area again. But they have really done a lot of work to make this a reality. So I just wanted to say thank you to them. I also, there's Leon. Hey. So I also just wanted to take a quick second to say thank you to the candidates. Katie and I have the opportunity every month to participate in a chat with the other regional organization presidents. And several organizations have really struggled in recent years to fill positions. And we are always, even if we've just got one person running, we always feel fortunate that we've got people who are willing to step up and give their time and their talent to SWACUHO. So I want to just thank all 4 of our candidates for putting yourselves out there and taking that challenge on and being willing to serve in that way. So we really appreciate you. But I'm going to turn it over now to Dr. McClinton to give us the latest and greatest from SWACUHO. Matt, did you want to do our formal introduction?
Sure, I will do that. I would like to introduce all of you to Dr. Leon McClinton. He's the SWACUHO president-elect. He has served as director, is serving as director of housing and residential life at Oklahoma State University. And was vice president of SWACUHO. Dr. McClinton, it's all yours.
Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate the introduction. And first of all, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed listening to the nomination speeches. Very inspiring, and I wish all of the nominees the best of luck. First of all, I want to acknowledge the challenges that many of us faced last week and the week before in regards to the extreme weather. I hope that all housing programs are on our own path to a full recovery and have some time to debrief on how we've responded to this crisis throughout this conference. I also want to thank Maggie Guzman, Beth Eppinger, Catherine Pelton, and Matthew Grief for allowing me to spend a little time with you this morning to give you some updates on SWACUHO. I hope the conference this year has provided a lot of information for you to take back to your respective campuses. I also want to thank Jill Eckhart for representing our region, and I know she has talked about the 70th anniversary fundraising campaign for SWACUHO, which we're all excited about. We are the SWACUHO, the leading organization of choice for campus housing and residence life professionals, and home to more than 17,000 professionals representing 3.2 million on-campus students from around the world. Next slide. For some, I'm just going to trust that it's gone to the next slide because I am not sure how to get back to the main screen. But anyway, next slide. SWACUHO strategic plan. Since October 2019, the SWACUHO Executive Board has been engaged in the development of a new strategic plan that was enacted in January 2021. This process involved environmental scanning exercises, the administration of 2 member surveys, one to the association leaders and the other to all members past and present. And also planning meetings to discuss how to best direct association resources, and particularly in light of the pandemic. The new strategic plan is a 3-year commitment to action, a time frame which will ensure that the association can remain responsive to the changing needs of campus housing and residence life profession and the broader higher education environment. So you see our vision and our mission. ACUOI is the leading organization, again, as I mentioned earlier. As part of the strategic planning process, the association's vision and mission were evaluated and edited to better represent the entire association on what we aim to achieve. The association can remain responsive to the changing needs of campus. Okay. Next slide. So what you see here are 4 primary focus areas for the association in regards to what our strategic plan will be focusing on in the next 3 years: diversity, equity, and inclusion, small colleges and universities, entry-level live-in professionals, and partnerships. ACUOI is committed to addressing the needs of these specific professionals through our advocacy efforts, community building, creation of resources, and more, ensuring that their unique perspective is infused into all of our areas of our portfolio. And again, I do not want to reiterate the 70th anniversary campaign, because Jill will be and will continue to promote that campaign for ACUOI. I want to move on to the anti-racism task force, which is a huge development. And we've spent a lot of time within the executive board analyzing, critiquing, and providing feedback on this anti-racism task force. In June 2020, the ACUOI executive board and leadership delivered a message to its membership in response to the perpetual incidents of racism, anti-Blackness, police brutality, and racially motivated violence across the United States and around the world. The ACUOI president at the time, Von Stange, who's at the University of Iowa, put out a charge and a call for volunteers for an ACUOI anti-racism task force. This call received almost 150 applications from campus housing and residence life professionals around the globe. From these applicants, a core group of 12 volunteer leaders was selected and assembled. You can see these on your screen. You should be able to see these on your screen. So there were 3 from July to the end of December 2020. The work that this task force did focused on 3 subgroups. These subgroups were history of the association, information gathering, straw poll analyses for all of our institutions that are associated with ACUOI, and then professional standards. In December 2020, the task force submitted their final recommendations document to the ACUOI executive board for approval. The association is currently in the process of working with the board and other volunteer leaders to operationalize their work. You should be able to see on the next screen, if you have any feedback that would be helpful to the task force or to this topic, there's a way that you can do that. You can go to this website to provide feedback. And then also, just recently, we've already passed the opportunity for you to give feedback to the fireside chat, but there was an opportunity for that as well. So an outcome of the anti-racism task force was to focus on a specific cohort for this upcoming Leadership Academy. So if you're not familiar with the Leadership Academy, it's a unique opportunity for campus housing and residence life professionals with 5 to 7 years of experience from underrepresented backgrounds. Based on a recommendation from the Anti-Racism Task Force, the 2021 Leadership Academy cohort will include professionals identifying as Black women at this level of career trajectory. So please encourage professionals in your network who identify as Black women to consider applying. The application includes several short questions, uploading a resume, CV, 2 reference letters. So if you're interested, please be sure to plan ahead for these pieces. Again, you can go on our ACUOI website and find the link if you're interested in applying or you know someone that would be interested in applying. Next slide. Small college university experts in residence. Over the past 2 years, the CUI has increased its efforts around better understanding the needs and desires of small colleges and universities. One significant step was the appointment of an ex officio board member dedicated to providing the perspective and giving voice to professionals in college universities that are not often represented on the executive board. In 2021, a 7-member team led by Andrew Peterson, the CUI Small College University Director, will work to identify issues of focus and contribute to support new initiatives around small college university practice, So there'll be a small special publication, a virtual symposium, roundtables, and resources in order to collect feedback on this topic. So I want to highlight some unique or some upcoming opportunities that will be provided by CUI. You see those, very important to recognize that we'll have our very first CUI, SCUP, and NACAS integrated planning workshop, which has already occurred. Many of us have been involved and participated in the placement exchange. So that's coming up next week. If you're interested in presenting or submitting a program proposal for this year's CUI Conference and Expo, the deadline is March the 9th. You see the dates for the Mid-Level Leadership Institute. We'll also have, again, I just mentioned the Small College University initiative. So we'll have a symposium in mid-April, then a live-in symposium, and also the very popular NHTI Institute, which will be at the end of May, beginning of June. We just concluded this year's State of the Profession. I believe we've had it for about 5 to 6 years now. And so I was fortunate to participate in it this year. And you see the topics that were covered. Definitely redefining the role of the frontline worker got a lot of attention. We're hearing from many colleagues across the country that many of our frontline employees are feeling overwhelmed. And definitely the pandemic has made things even more challenging. So moving ahead over the next 2 to 3 years, we're really trying to find a way to address that concern. If you have not, if you weren't informed about, just recently, George Washington University has gotten rid of their RA positions and they have a new model in place. So it'll be very interesting to see, how their new model will work within their department. Next slide. So CUI Online Learning. CUI offers a number of valuable online courses to help you explore key topics and trends in a way that fits your busy schedule. Each course is filled with interactive content and real-world examples created by leaders in the profession. Popular courses include the RA 101, 201, supervising full-time staff, topics on student mental health, also a certificate in occupancy management, and more. I think we all can agree that CUI really helped many of us as we tried to prepare this year in regards to the pandemic. Then there's also, we don't want to forget about the research agenda that CUI provides for our colleagues across the country, across the globe. And there are 3 areas that we focus on: public-private partnerships, student success, and student outcomes. And so CUI works with the CUI Foundation, which provides funding for research initiatives, which also is another reason why we want to make sure that we listen to Jill and embrace her her presentation on the 70th anniversary campaign, because those funds can go towards research within our field. So more information on our research initiatives. So the next funding round, there's a call for proposals that already started the 22nd of February. The deadline to submit is March the 26th. And you can find more information on the process and details on that link. you know, on that slide, which I don't think we're on that slide as of yet. Maybe I'm a little ahead. Funded research grants. All right. I want to talk a little bit about the Campus Housing Index. It is a data tool that allows campus-based professionals to compare their operations against customized groups of similar campuses. They evaluate our practices, make decisions, and articulate our resource needs by using data and on-demand charts and graphics included in the Campus Housing Index. So I think many of us definitely have our departments presenting or providing information to the Campus Housing Index. This year, the full panel of Campus Housing Index questions will be administered between May and August 2021. Moving forward, this will be the regularly recurring time frame for the CHI administration. If you have any questions, you can email chi@akuoi.org for that. So, advocacy efforts. It's been very, one last thing I want to just mention that the AKUOI has been quoted in the Washington Post for being an advocate for our profession to try to move us up on the priority list in regards to the vaccination. You can see that you can read that letter on the AKUOI website if you're interested. But we're very thankful for Mary De Niro, our CEO, and the AKUOI front office for being advocates for us as we try to get our staff vaccinated in the weeks to come. If you have any questions, I know I ran a little over, but I want to thank you again for giving me the time to talk with you. If you have any questions about AKUOI, do not hesitate to email me at leon.mcclinton@okstate.edu. You can find me, of course, on our Oklahoma State website. And I hope the rest of the conference is very successful for you. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McClinton. We really appreciate your words, and thank you for, I know we're having a little bit of trouble with the slides, but we're going to post those online and make sure that everybody has those to view and carry on with all your information. So we really appreciate the time you've taken out to speak to our folks today. So thank you. Maggie, did you say that you had some things that you wanted to briefly talk about before we close things up?
Oh, I was about to say, I'm trying to get my video on. There's like a real delay on this end of it. So yeah, we will definitely get those slides posted. I know Beth was advancing them as you were going, but for some reason they wouldn't switch over. No, I just wanted to echo Matt's thank you to Dr. McClinton for serving and representing SWACUHO on the AKUOI board. We're excited to have lots of representation from SWACUHO this year with Dr. McClinton and others serving in various roles. So we appreciate that. But I also just wanted again to thank everyone for being here and thank all of the volunteers who have worked to make SWACUHO events happen this year. You know, we've had several people mention this year has just been a year for the record books, right? And we're moving swiftly into the second year for the record books. And through all of that, you know, we've continued to be able to provide educational opportunities, roundtables, you know, SWACUHO U, all of the things that Matt mentioned during the executive summary. And we could not have done that without volunteers and committee members and our committee chairs. So I just want to offer all of you my sincere thanks for giving us your time and giving us your talents this year. I want to also do a plug for our committees. If you are on this business meeting and you haven't joined a committee and you want to, please check out our website. You can go to swacuho.org and read about our various committees and the work that they do and see there how to sign up. You know, I think for all of us, the names that you see here and the faces that you've seen and the people that you've heard from today, all of our involvement with these organizations started with committee work. You know, for me, it was being part of the program committee. And stepping out of my bubble to interact with people which if you know me, you know I really don't like to do in general, but you know, stepping out and interacting with people in that format and just kind of, you know, growing and taking steps from there. So, you know, this is a small organization, which to me makes it easier to get involved and get to know people and make those real connections. And so I hope that you'll take the opportunity to do that. We have some great sessions coming up here at the 11 o'clock hour. And then we've got, I just want to remind everybody about our time with our exhibitors this afternoon that you probably heard about this morning. I believe that starts at 1 o'clock. We've got some virtual booths set up so you can still see some of those familiar faces that you typically see in our exhibits area, just virtually this time. So please check that out because we could not do what we do without their support. Our organization is in a very good place financially. Big thanks to our treasurer, Kyle McCracken, and our previous treasurers, Katie Pelton and Megan Witherspoon and Curtis Odell and Kitty Mock. I could name a bunch of them. You know, we have had a long-standing tradition of having a very healthy financial situation thanks to the good stewardship that our leadership and our committee chairs have shown. And so we appreciate that, and we appreciate our exhibitors for helping make some of what we do possible. So please stop by this afternoon and give them your thanks. And I think that's it. So yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Look for those voting links to come out early next week. Matt, any final words, any fun fact you want to leave us with? Anything?
Well, I think I'll just save my fun fact for next Friday when I speak. So we'll leave it there.
Oh, cliffhanger. So now you've all got to make sure that you log back in next Friday. All right, everybody. Well, have a great day and enjoy the sessions.
Maggie, we will need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, no, we can't adjourn. We have
to leave it open.
We have to leave it open. We can't adjourn until next week because we're still voting. So.
Okay, my apologies.
Nope. Thanks for trying to keep us honest, JC, but we will officially adjourn the meeting next week after the voting has concluded. So, all right, y'all, thanks.
Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, everybody.